Yeah, I want to give credit to JMU. I thought they played a good game there. I was proud of our team as far as the opportunity that we presented ourselves. We had opportunity there, going into the fourth quarter, even when our quarterback went down to have a chance, but we're not making the necessary plays when we need to whether that's sustained drives or get them off the field. I was disappointed in that. We took a lead of 10-3, they answered it. We took a lead of 13-10, they answered it. And every time we needed to get some momentum back on our side after we scored or did something, we couldn't stem the momentum there. And then after the first drive of the second half, we moved it down there and had an opportunity to put some points on the board. We got a field goal, but we weren't able to do much after that, and so it put our defense in a tough situation to keep playing. And we went some three and outs there. So I was disappointed Vasco couldn't finish the game. I thought he was playing really well. He was moving the ball and making some great plays and bringing great energy for us. We'll see how tomorrow. We'll see what they say as far as his prognosis there, and see if he's going to miss more time than with this game. And so hopefully he can come back. Mike went in and Ethan went in, and I thought they competed. They're we're able to move the ball a little bit there, but we have to be, those guys when they go in there, they got to make some easy things. There were some easy plays that we needed to make. We didn't make it because of sustained drive. So disappointed again that we had some opportunities there and couldn't take advantage of them.
Did the game swing when you got down to the 11? I think it's 10-10. You're driving there in the first half, and you get a penalty, negative play on a rush attempt. You have to end up settling for that field goal there.
Yeah, I think you score, you're up 17-10. We took a lot of time off the clock there. It's probably 6-7 minute drive that you had going, and you're up, and that's the whole reason you take the ball. And we move down the field and we played clean, and then we get a holding penalty that that sets us back, and then we don't block the play right the next way, and now you go from 1st and 20 to 2nd and 22, and then it's not an ideal situation to be in. And so I don't know if it swung on that, but it definitely, we could have had a 7-point lead, and basically going into after they drove down and scored, it was almost the end of the third quarter right away after those two drives, so the clock was, both teams used the clock quite a bit on their drives, and so that was a big moment. It's a big moment, but we have to, it's 2 weeks in a row where we've gotten points and the opposing team has went down and scored 2 weeks in a row. And so we got to be better when we score. We got to be better, do a better job of not letting the team answer it like that. That's 2 weeks in a row that's happened. And any momentum we've got, especially when you had a new quarterback there, coming in and they're playing really significant for the first time. You need some positive things. You need to try to get that ball back as quickly as can. So I was disappointed that we didn't score the touchdown, but also that we let them go right down the field and score 7.
Yeah, kind of the ensuing drive. There were like back-to-back big plays, like a 25-yarder, a 36-yarder. Is it just from your vantage point? What were you seeing there? Was it bad tackling, bad technique? Just kind of take. I thought we looked like we missed some tackles. I've got to watch. Obviously, it looked like we missed some tackles. Allowed them to get outside. We lost some leverage. And we had. It seemed like, and I need to study, but it seemed like we had them in a 1st and 20. About 3 or 4 times, and they got every one of them. That's what it seemed like. Now I don't know if that's y'all need to fact check me on that, but it seemed like we had them backed up 1st and 20, 2 or 3, 4 times, and they got every one of them. They got a first down almost, and so we got to take advantage of that when we do that. But it looked like we missed some tackles that created bigger plays, or took some bad angles, lost some leverage that created bigger plays than what they should have been, just from the sideline. And I've got to look at that and see. But that's what I thought. And what happened on the play where Ethan got hurt towards the end of the first half? Did he get a shoulder banged right there? What did you see?
Yeah, he was going to throw the ball to the right, and the receiver didn't run the route properly, and so he had to hold it. And then he goes to scramble, and one of the big guys got him there. And as he going down, it looked like from the video and everything, the pressure of the D lineman landed on his shoulder, and so he's been battling that since Jack State, and so but playing through it, but it was a pretty serious one when he got landed on. So that's why he couldn't. He wanted to come back in, but he couldn't.
Speaking of Vasco, how much did that change the game when he goes out, and maybe change your offensive game plan in the second half?
It changed a lot. That was
you know, it comes back to you're missing Berger too. You know, Ryan Berger would have been in the game if Ryan Berger's, who's got some experience, played a little bit. And so, you know, it goes back to him, you know, losing them. So now Mike, you know, Mike's been our third guy, obviously, since Berger's been the second. And so him and Ethan are different players. And so you have to do things that you feel like he can help move the ball, you know. And I thought he did a nice job on that first drive there. And then we wanted to bring in, we had in the game plan, there were some quarterback runs and some different things. So that's why we brought Houck in, because he's a bigger guy. And so, you know, you try to use what they're best at. First drive, we did a good job. And then the second, third, the continuing drives there, we had some, you know, they're trying to make some changes, obviously, because they're figured out, all right, this quarterback's going to do this. They're making some changes. And we had some things to make, and we just didn't, whether we didn't make them, make the proper read, make the proper throw, you try to figure out what can they do, you know. So you do, your game plan that you had, you have to scale it back, and you're trying to find things, hey, what can he do to execute to still try to give us a chance to move the ball? And you know, we didn't do that. We had some plays there on a couple third downs where if we whatever, make the right read, make the right throw, maybe, you know, we get a chance to at least hold the ball, let our defense rest a little bit, and try to get maybe some explosive plays. But we weren't, unfortunately, not able to do that.
You mentioned tackling a little bit, flag. You mentioned the one specific flag, and in general, you talk about kind of overcoming things for this team. Mm-hmm. What does improvement look like in overcoming some of the adversity that you guys face in a game-to-game basis?
Well, you know, I thought we played really well for the most part, as far as we didn't put ourselves in bad position, we didn't turn it over. You know, we had the penalty there on that one drive that was a killer. The overcoming piece means that we've got to stop beating ourselves. Like, in some ways, I'm not saying that you know, JMU didn't beat us, but we had opportunities. We've had opportunities the last 3 weeks, and we put ourselves in holes because of some foolish things. We've got it. This game told the team we did a lot of really good things. They're a pick to win the Sun Belt there, and it's a 4-quarter battle. We you know, it goes either way, and we're doing that with backup quarterbacks. You know, but you have to be able to make winning plays at winning time, or winning checks, or whatever it may be, and we're not doing that. And so that's where we need to see improvement. It's not effort. It's not the preparation when you're tired, in those big moments, pressure moments. We got to keep our cool, and we got to make sure that we can execute when it needs to actually matter. Like, it all matters, but man, this is important. You know, and you get a little tired here, and you grab the guy, and you get called for it, right? And so when we're not good enough to overcome that right now, when we got a penalty, it's been hard for us to overcome that. You know, and like I said, they got 2 or 3 and first downs or touchdowns, you know, off of those things. And so we got to be better defensively when we get a penalty, that they are able to pick it up in two snaps.
What are the areas and where are the places where you guys are able to identify that? Is it practice? Is it games? Is it a blend of that? Is it players, coaching? Is it all of the above?
As far as
making the improvements so that you're not beating yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you fix everything in practice, right? You fix everything, and you put your players in practice in situations to where, hey, this is what we expect to happen in a game, and so make sure that they understand the call, the check mark, maybe whatever it may be. But once you're out there, you know, maybe it's a little different look, maybe it's whatever it may be. You gotta follow your techniques and trust your coaching and all those things. And so you fix everything through video and all those things, but just sometimes too, you just got to be able to, you know, execute it when we execute it. Coaches got to do a better job of calling better plays. You know, we got to do a better job of calling plays. And so most of the blames is obviously for me, because is the program. I've got to make sure that we're doing everything possible to get us to play well during those situations. And so I thought today we made way better improvements in a lot of areas. Taking care of the ball, 1. I mean, you know, how many turnovers we had today?
0.
None. We have 8 the last 2 weeks. Fourth downs. We were terrible on 4th downs, and we got every 4th down except that very last one there. And so we made things that we really focused and improved on. We did. We had how many penalties? 6 penalties there. I don't know exactly what with their offense, defense, how it worked down there. And so, like, we were things that we really focused on. They improved, but there's still ways to go. Right? We still let all those little things that matter, that add up. When you're playing good teams, you got to do those things the right way all the time. And we're not doing it enough. We're not doing it enough.
It looked like some of the game plan, especially there in the second quarter, try to get Juju to the outside. It just looked like they were taking that away. Was that something more of what they were doing? Just what was it you weren't able to get to the perimeter?
Yeah, there's you know, you're trying to get him in some speed and different things there. A couple of those there's a read to that, whether like if they're running, the quarterback should keep it. Sometimes, so you're not trying to hand it to him where he's got 3 or 4 guys on him, and sometimes that happens. Other times you feel like you got a play that works well, and they run something that, is a good call for it sometimes. And so you're trying to get him going there and trying to get him going in the pass game. And the thing that, throughout that game, when you drove the ball, the drives were long, and so your number of possessions were limited, right? And so we had some more opportunities to try to get him the ball in certain ways. Once Ethan Vasco went out, that changed some too. That changed some because of some of the skill sets there. So we weren't able to probably use him in the opportunity we wanted to consistently.
I think it was a 4th and 12 there midway through the fourth quarter, down 2 scores. Did you give any thought to try to go for a 4th there?
We did with the just with the lack of experience that we had, from the quarterbacks and some of the things that we knew they were going to do. We were, I was hoping. I think that at the time was the score 24-13. So you're down there. I think it was 8 minutes, somewhere around there. So I was thinking, all right, if we kick it, we get a stop. You get a chance to get a drive. I didn't want to give them the ball right there, and they're already in, a potential field goal range right away. And then from that standpoint, so we did think about it, but I thought it was just too far for the experience that we had.
All right, Coach. Thanks for